In my last video, I explained the 4 best heavy weapons and loadouts, but today I will be going into depth on the gadgets and a few strategies to go with them. Hey guys, I'm Finny, and you're watching The Final Central. Before we get into it, a quick heads up. We've got a Discord server and we've just hit 150 members. Whether you want alerts for new uploads, to squad up with teammates, hop into our watch parties, or just chill and chat, the link is in the description. We'd love to have you. Now let's get into the gadgets. The first and most universal heavy gadget is the Dome Shield. The Dome Shield is a spherical mesh that can block up to 300 damage and last for 5.5 seconds. It has an area of effect that is about 7 by 7 meters, meaning it is a 7 meter tall and 7 meter wide in a sphere shape. Although the Dome Shield doesn't really have any creative strategies, the most important thing with the Dome Shield is timing. This is due to the duration of the Dome Shield being so short. If you throw it too early, it can cause you to lose a fight, but the same can be said for throwing it too late. This varies too much from situation to situation for me to describe the timing on when you should or shouldn't use it. You just have to get a feel for it and realize when you lose a fight that you threw it too soon or too late. The second gadget I want to mention is the Lockbolt. It is a launcher that spits out the locking device that chains enemies for up to 8 seconds with a max range of 6 meters. With a cooldown of 40 seconds, it makes it so you definitely have to think before using it, but it's not that big of a deal if you accidentally use it at the wrong time. There are a few strategies with the Lockbolt that can be very useful but require some tight team coordination. The first strategy with the Lockbolt is using it to pull the cashout. You may already know that you can use the winch claw to pull the cashout into a better position. Well, you can do a similar thing using the Lockbolt and a light or explosive barrel. All you have to do is shoot the Lockbolt onto a barrel next to the cashout and then have your light pick it up and dash away with it towards where you want it to go. This will allow you to manipulate the cashout without a winch claw. A strategy you can use to fight against the Lockbolt is using the maximum range on it to slingshot yourself in the other direction. This can help if you are fighting against a melee user, but can also be used to dodge shots. All you have to do to execute this properly is to run to the outer edge of the Lockbolt's hold and then slide jump to launch yourself further away, and it will slingshot you back in the other direction. The next gadget that is still widely used on heavy, and I think will continue to be, is the C4. The C4 is very versatile for a few reasons. First of all, it can be used for damage, stalling cashouts, or just opening up new routes for you and your team. It has a max damage of 155 with a damage radius of 6.5 meters. You can have 2 deployed at once, and then when you detonate them, they will detonate simultaneously. There are a few but useful strategies that can be done with the C4 as well. The first strategy is combining the C4 with some type of barrel and mine on the side of the cashout, so that even if the enemies don't run into the mines, you can still remotely detonate them with the C4. The second strategy, which is also related to stalling, is what I call double dropping. Sometimes the enemies will expect you to drop the cashout with the C4, so you can set up one on the cashout and one directly on the floor below. This means that when you detonate, it will instantly drop 2 floors. This normally stops people that try to stand on top of the cashout when stealing. The last strategy that doesn't really have to do with the cashout is combining it with an RPG. All you have to do is throw down a C4 towards the enemies and then shoot an RPG right on top of it. This can cause double the explosive damage compared to just using one of them. I don't typically use this strategy because I don't run both C4 and RPG, but this is definitely a decent strategy for starting and finishing engagements. The last gadget on the list is the Antigravity Cube. The Antigravity Cube creates a pillar-shaped area of effect that starts raising people and objects at a slow, consistent pace. It is 4 meters wide with a long duration of 20 seconds and a cooldown of 35 seconds, giving it effectively a 15-second cooldown. This means it is very versatile because you can have it ready in almost every fight you take. Although I have not used this gadget that much, I can definitely tell that it has lots of potential for stalling cashouts or just moving enemies out of position. We saw some pretty insane usage of the Anti-Gravity Cube in our community tournament we hosted, Cashout Crashout, which you can check out by going to the live section on our channel where the VOD is available. There are a few main strategies with the Anti-Grav Cube and one silly one. The first and main strategy that people use is for raising up the cashout into the air when the enemies try to steal. This can make it hard for the enemies to hold on to the steel and make them more vulnerable. I find it is most effective to play above the cashout and then try using the anti-gravity cube to bring the enemies up to you so you can get easy headshots on them. Another way you can use it is if the enemies are holding a head glitch angle or sitting in a ratty spot, which then you can chuck the cube onto them and force them out of position. This can prove to be very effective in practice and is by no means a waste of the utility, especially considering that you can have it back up in 15 seconds after you throw it. The last silly and not very effective strategy is the chopper. This is usually where you use a minigun and just throw the anti-gravity cube below you and then just float and rain hellfire on the enemies. Obviously this is unnecessary and impractical, but can be very fun at times. And that is the 4 best heavy gadgets and strategies in the final Season 6. Now it's your turn. Do you think that another gadget belongs on this list? Is there a different strategy that you like with one of these gadgets that I didn't mention? Did this help you get better use out of your gadgets? Let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. If you want to stay updated on everything in the finals, hit that subscribe button. And as always, I'll see you around the arena.